right, Democrats are splitting from the White House. Starting next month, the Department of Homeland Security will start nationwide raids to deport adults and children who have already been ordered by an immigration judge to leave the country. Leslie Marshall and Brad Blakeman are still here with me. And Leslie, you know, a lot of liberals are pretty outraged by this. Are you?
Yes, because I think here are a couple of things. First of all, I think we look at this time of year that we spend with families. This is something that we've been outraged about, and proposals that come from people like candidates like Donald Trump. The target here is the problem, which are the families, not to go after employers of these people that come here and without these employment opportunities wouldn't be here. Two, what about the visas that expire and that program being enforced? Those are laws already on the books that are not being enforced. And lastly, the terminology, door-to-door, siege, these are very dangerous words, especially for liberal Democrats. So I concur with that. I don't believe that people should break the law, and I do believe the law should be enforced, but I don't believe the target here is accurate.
Well, you mentioned people shouldn't break the law and the law should be enforced. I mean, in this particular case, you've got a judge who has told people, you got to leave the country, you're being deported, but they're choosing not to leave. I mean, Brad, what do you do if you're the judge who says, hey, get out of town, and someone doesn't do it? If you're not going to enforce the law of the land, then why have it?
Exactly right. My admonition to the Obama administration is, what took you so long, Mr. President? You ran on a platform back in 2007 and 8 of immigration reform. In fact, you promised it in your inaugural address that would be one of the first things you tackled, and then nothing happened up until now with regard to removing those who have overstayed their welcome. And what good is a law if it is not honored? I, as a citizen, must follow the law. And guess what? If you're a guest of our country, you better follow the law, and you better know that there are going to be consequences if you don't. But this president reacts, and good leadership prevents problems. It doesn't react to problems. And the president now is acting off what you've heard from Donald Trump and others, the outrage now of Americans, whether Republican or Democrat.
Leslie, this could actually, I think, help Hillary Clinton, and it could help Bernie Sanders quite a bit. Because, I mean, just think about the graphic images here, tearing families apart and bringing kids, back across the border. No one's going to like that. I mean, and there are many other ways to deal with this problem, as Brad says, should have been dealt with. But now it's coming to this. And, you hate to reduce things to politics, but that is such the world we live in. I think politically, this gives the edge to Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, because a lot of Democrats are going to say, OK, enough. And a lot of immigrants that are here now legally and can vote are going to say, we don't like this. What do you think? Leslie.
Well, I think it does give the opportunity. As we have already certainly seen and heard from Senator Sanders, that I believe will more so from Hillary going forward, to their distance between the president, and also how do they differ from the president? Because for those that don't like a Barack Obama presidency, but maybe they like a Democrat or they're shopping for a candidate, they might look to Hillary or Bernie, but not like the alliance and the relationship because they are Democrats. So this does help to distance them from that. And I think, quite frankly, this puts Obama, in a sense, on the same page as some of the things that Donald Trump has proposes, as I said earlier. And that's a problem, not just for liberal Democrats, but for a lot of Americans, and as you spoke to, Hispanics who are here in this country legally or born here.
Yeah, but it's not like Hispanics are suddenly going to say, OK, now I'm going to vote for Donald Trump because I don't like what Obama's doing. True. I mean, as long as Bernie and Hillary come out and say, we don't like this, and we're going to offer something different. And you're right. I mean, it puts her in a bad spot because she's got to be out there against the White House. But if she's able to do that successfully, Brad, who's the advantage go to?
I think the advantage goes to the Republicans, and here's why. We're pointing out the fact that the president's been late to the game, and he's only doing what now the public is crying out for, which Republicans raised. And Republicans have to be careful because they can't go too far and not seem like they're compassionate to the people who are here. There are 12 million here, and quite frankly, our government was complicit in them coming here by having porous borders and work.
But, if I'm Bernie Sanders or I'm Hillary Clinton, I'm going to say, hey, yeah, you've seen those deportations on TV. You're going to have more of those if Donald Trump comes into office. I mean, isn't that the card that she would or should play?
Yeah, and that's good for the primary, but that's not very good for a general electorate. So you have to be selected by the party before you're elected by the people. If the object is to get elected by the people, be where the people are.
Go ahead, Leslie.
Well, the people are. If you look at the polls, and even if you just talk to people, as I do on my radio show, the concern that they have with the undocumented workers is even more than breaking the law or jobs picking lettuce and grapes. What they have an issue with is security and safety, terrorism, murder, violent crimes. These families that the feds are going to knock on the door of are not guilty of any of that. And the people that have committed these crimes are overwhelmingly here legally or even born in this country. Those are the undocumented workers that need to be addressed first and foremost. And so I think, although it's a fence that you have to straddle in a sense for Hillary, I think it can be done very well, and it benefits her more than Republicans, because no Republican I know wants to see families ripped apart, even if they've overstayed their welcome, and that's why they want immigration reform to have some kind of a pathway to citizenship.
It's an incredibly challenging issue. You know, there are so many hardworking people that want to come here to better their lives, to better their families' lives, and we need them. But, you know, at the same time, you know, you see things like what happened in San Francisco with Kate Steinle's murder. You see the stress that our nation is under when confronting the terror threat, and it makes this all extremely complicated. It means we do need immigration reform. We need to be vigilant about who we're letting in. We need to offer people opportunity that want to succeed, that want to help themselves and come to this country. But indeed, it's an incredibly complicated topic, one that we will be hearing a lot more about. Leslie and Brad, thank you so much.